A lot of work goes into planning an event like this and gathering all these people here today. This is something that the students, or designers I should say, look forward to every year. It's a way to express their talents and something they're extremely passionate about, much like poetry. Now, for us, I'm pretty sure poetry ended in high school English. But for one local poet, the expression lives on. Gautham is trying to use poetry to change the world.
This is alphabetically arranged articulate artistry, breathtakingly breaking boundaries by challenging classical conventions, characteristically condemning creativity.
Meet Gautham Krishnaraj. He's a spoken word poet, and his ability to connect through the power of the pen has taken him to many places, like speaking at a TEDx event, at We Day, and even to the UN.
As I grew and as my involvement with Free the Children grew, I started to see that it was something that I could do with the rest of my life, you know, like it might not necessarily be Free the Children, but I wanted to be engaged in education and empowering youth.
A modern written art form, spoken word poetry is only just gaining traction out here in the Valley. Now, think of it as emotional hip-hop without the music.
This is a poet's pure fluidity, questioning regimented
And it has to do with the power of the performance of the piece, of the poem. And it's probably characterized by a few things, but the spine, the solid spine of it has to do with really strong imagery, often an extended metaphor all the way through, because your audience doesn't have the benefit of a page. It's often very rhythmic. It tends to attract people who want to write kind of from the heart, like quite raw experience sometimes.
The inside of a body instead of defecting and infecting some girl that they can simply call shoddy because these kids are smart.
Gautham's foray into spoken word started off with a bang when his first ever writing was selected by Free the Children to be performed at We Day Vancouver in 2011.
We are the change. Like at We Day, the piece that I performed was called Leftover Wars, and it was about the power of education in terms of bringing countries back to a new normal state after the countries waging wars have left, and how education could be used as a tool to come back from that state of being. Let's give them the tools so they don't need to run.
The focus on education and empowerment is huge for Gautham. Just a few years ago, he and a friend from Pearson College, Nick Carverhill, started up the nonprofit Raise Your Voice. And what they do in Canada is help to give youth the skills to engage in public discourse, and out in the world provide scholarships to help educate women.
It's mostly about the skills and opportunities that you can get and how it impacts lives and how we can engage youth in social discourse and public discourse. Music nurtures nature's now neglected necessity.
Seeing where spoken word has taken Gautham is proof that the pen isn't just mightier than the sword, it's sharper than ever.
But we will always call ourselves one thing: artists.
In Chilliwack, I'm Jonathan Horst for Go Fraser Valley.